Hi everybody, this is Crow the Sandler fan here. Now before I start doing my movie review, I got a little update to explain. So I decided that sometimes when I do a movie review, I would just read what the plot's about on the back of a DVD cover or a Blu-ray cover. So that way I would find it pretty easier to do so. Because sometimes I find it hard to explain what the movie's about when not reading it on the back of the DVD cover, which is why from now on, only sometimes when I do a movie review, I would sometimes feel like either explaining what the movie is about without reading on the back of the DVD cover, and sometimes just read what the movie's about on the back of the DVD cover. It's kind of basically like how when Mr. Chrissy does movie reviews, he sometimes reads the back of a DVD cover of what the movie's about. Kind of like what I'm gonna do right now. So anyways, today's movie review is gonna be on the 2003 comedy starring Eddie Murphy called Daddy Daycare. So the plot for Daddy Daycare basically goes like this. When ad exes Charlie, played by Eddie Murphy, and Phil, played by Jeff Garlin, lose their jobs trying to sell a veggie-flavored breakfast cereal, their wives head off to work. But when they realize they can't afford to keep their kids at the fancy Chapman Academy, run by the evil Miss Harridan, played by Angelica Houston, Charlie and Phil become the proprietors of Daddy Daycare. Little do these two know, Mr. Moms realize that they have just begun their own adventures in babysitting. Daddy Daycare's excellent supporting cast includes Steve Zahn, Regina King, and Kevin Nealon. So that's basically what Daddy Daycare is about. Charlie and Phil run a factory, and they basically are starting to run out of money, so they decide to run a Daddy Daycare. That's basically the whole point of the movie. That's basically what the movie's about. In my opinion on this movie, I gotta say, this movie's really funny and really good too. It was really good and funny at the same time. I gotta say, Eddie Murphy did a good job playing Charlie, and Jeff Garlin did a good job playing Phil. And I think throughout all of the characters in the movie, my favorite character honestly has got to be Phil. Phil is a really funny character, especially that one scene where Phil becomes Guitar Phil to entertain the kids, and you know, Phil does his own rendition of Managed Boy by Muddy Waters and Coconut by Harry Nilsson. That's a really great and funny scene. I really like how Phil makes his own rendition of songs when playing the guitar. It's a really great scene. And I also like the scene of all of the kids running around the house and fooling around while I Want to Be Sedated by the Ramones is being played. That's a really funny scene also. And the rest of the acting performances are really good. And throughout all of the characters I like, the only two characters I didn't like are Miss Harridan. I honestly thought Miss Harridan was a very mean-spirited villain. I like Angelica Houston though. She's a good actress. I just didn't like her as Miss Harridan. I also didn't like this kid named Crispin. He's that kid who, of course, kicks Charlie in the leg, and he basically doesn't like Charlie. I like the guy that plays Crispin. I just didn't like him as Crispin. I was never a fan of Crispin, and I just thought Crispin was a very mean-spirited character. But thankfully, he becomes nice to Charlie at the end of the movie, so that's a good thing. So therefore, there's nothing else I could say about Daddy Daycare. To those of you who've never seen Daddy Daycare, I totally recommend it. It's a really good and funny film for the whole family to enjoy. So for my final rating of Daddy Daycare, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 stars. It's a really good and funny film from 2003. Thank you for listening to my review on Daddy Daycare. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is me saying, peace out.